Welcome back to the channel Spooky Soul, and let me tell you, I'm super upset and sad that Halloween is now behind us. My spooky series, Booze and Brews, is now over, and we are starting the next series of videos for the month of November, starting with today's exciting video, Filling Them Up. I've got a couple of decorations as well that I want to dot around here and there, so hopefully you're going to join me as I get to do the most exciting part that I've wanted to do for so long. I've always admired other booktubers and fellow readers who have beautiful bookshelves in their homes, and I finally get to experience that for myself. So grab a cup of tea or coffee, whatever takes your fancy. I've got all my books here, plus the ones that have been tucked away in the lounge for so long without having a proper place. So today's video is you joining me, hopefully, with a cup of tea or coffee, because it's super chilly today. We're going to get all my books onto the bookcases and do a little bit of dark academia decor, spooky fun, even though I know it's not Halloween. I personally love all things spooky and witchy. We're going to get them all in here, and I cannot tell you how excited I am. So let's do it together, shall we? These are some of the books that I have. Like I just mentioned, I do have books from the other room, so I'm going to be ferrying books backwards and forwards once we get these on the shelves, because these are all my new purchases. 3-4 months since I decided to start this channel, I've been cultivating the next lot of books that I wanted to have in my collection and to start reading again. I've always been an avid reader, but I was doing lots of other things in my life and needing to cut down on my book collection. So back last year I actually had a massive cull, and the books in the lounge are all the ones that were saved from that cull. These, however, are since August, September this year. It's now November. I've collected quite a few, and I am just super excited to get back into the world of romantasy, dark academia, gothic vibes, all of those sort of good feel books that I just fell in love with reading. The other parcel in the corner is actually a little standing sitting desk, which I'm hoping to install also in this room, so that if I want to do any sitting reading or doing any referencing or any kind of artwork, because this room's going to be a multi-purpose room. It's going to be my little sanctuary, basically. So stay tuned for watching that at the end. And I've also got some decorating ideas starting in my mind. Hopefully they work out. I think I've got everything together and planned, but bear with me. If I don't get it completely finished today, there may well be upcoming videos to continue on this transformation of a little box room into a reading haven. There's something sacred about beginning again. A new space, a quiet moment, a chance to place each story exactly where it belongs. Books have always been my first love. Long before I understood the language of the soul, I understood the language of stories. When I was little, the world often felt too loud, too sharp, too much. And yet, between the covers of a book, I found a softer place to land. Far off lands where heroines knew their own minds, where friendship and courage were born out of magic and mystery, and where the lonely always found their way home. Those stories were my safe place. The quiet candle in the storm when everything else felt uncertain. As I grew, I realised those characters I admired so much weren't just stories. They were mirrors, gentle reflections of who I wanted to become. The ones who stood up for what was right, who faced their fears, who discovered that strength and softness could live in the same heart. Through romance, I learned that love could be tender, patient, and true. Through fantasy, I remembered that hope and wonder never truly leave us. And through the pages of every book, I found tiny pieces of myself, waiting quietly to be discovered. So as I set up this bookshelf today, it's not just a collection of paper and ink. It's a reflection of my soul's journey. Each spine holds a memory, a lesson, and a whisper from a time when I needed it most. stories have been my teachers, my healers, my companions. And in the stillness between words, I found the truest kind of magic, the kind that reminds us that we were never really alone. Because every time we open a book, we step through a doorway, a portal, not just into another world, but deeper into our own hearts. So maybe that's what this space really is, not just a shelf of books, but a sanctuary for all the pieces of me that stories have healed. This is my love story, not only with the written world, but with myself. And that's the real treasure, isn't it? That within these enchanted pages, whether of books or of our hearts, we discover the magic that's been within us all along. These enchanted pages are where every story truly begins again. Right, well, we're back about an hour later. As you can see, I really enjoy putting books on the shelves, but as you can see, I'm struggling with how to get my hardback books. As you can see, I don't know whether you can see, my hardback books are right at the top. My paperbacks are through the middle, and I've tried to categorize them with sort of witchy, dark academia, my adventure kind of like going on a quest, sword fighting, dragons, that kind of story, sort of over on the left here. These are all my like raunchy, spicy books all the way through, where are they? Here. And then I've got, more fantasy. Basically, I love to read fantasy, so I've mainly got romantasy, fantasy. But all my raunchy books I want to keep slightly separate, just so that if I do find something, I can recommend it quite quickly, but it's not like mixed in with general fantasy, if that makes sense. Just in case I forget there's a spicy bit in a book and I recommend it to a friend and they're a little bit shocked by how spicy it could be. So I've kept them separate. I hate the fact that these shelves here, because this is fixed, this one's fixed all the way through. No matter, because I've worked down from the top, you get this sort of wanky shelf here. At the moment, I've put my real young adult or middle grade books here, and I've only got a few, thank goodness, but I don't like it. I really don't like it. And the same here, I've just put my raunchy, sailing the seven seas, piratey books here, but I love that genre, so I know I'm going to want to put more in there. Do I use this just for decor? But then it seems a complete waste, in my opinion. I have brought all the books forward to the front as well, because I don't like pushing them to the back and having this ledge personally, because it gives me a shelf to put things on, and I'm very minimalist and I want to keep it that way. And I know if I have a shelf, I will put something on it. So if I keep the ledges clear, I know that I won't be putting anything on there other than books. Books and maybe some crystals, because I want to bless this room with some crystals. So we might do that in another video. I also have to bring in my jar. For those of you who haven't seen, this is my little cat ramekin that I used in my TBR, my first ever TBR video back at the beginning of October. I will be doing a video very soon choosing my November TBR because we're just at the beginning of November now. So this also wants Pride of Place because that's just super cute. So I might put that just there for now, but maybe that's where we put the TBR jar, like front of house center. The below section I'm deliberately keeping larger because I also want to use this room for meditation and doing a little bit of yoga, just to have a space that feels so good to the soul to be in. So I'm using that as a little altar area. Again, I can make a video about that if you're interested, so comment down below if you'd like to see just a pure altar video, because I am a therapist in my other part of my life. So I've got a lot of books on spiritualism, sacred feminine, like self-help, like doing the inner work to clear out trauma and to embrace what it is to be a woman. That's my sort of calling. I do that in my therapy as well. So I want to have in my books that have been helpful in that regard. For instance, I've got 2 of my favourite authors' books here. These are new, I haven't read them yet. Lisa Lister. So it's called Love Your Lady Landscape, Trust Your Gut, Care for Down There and Reclaim Your Fire, and Feminine and She Power. Love it. And then Self-Sorcery, Welcome to Your Senses, Trust Your Instincts and Remember Your Magic. And I'm currently reading Witch is absolutely revolutionary. If you struggle with the patriarchy in this world, you want to learn about the history of the witch hunts and why women are so oppressed in the world for thousands of years, Witch will blow up your world and your mind. So I cannot recommend that enough. And again, if you want me to do a non-fiction book talk and introduce you to the books that have literally changed my world, I can always do that. So please leave a comment down below and we can do that. But getting back to today, I do have a bit of a quandary on my hands because I wanted to get this video one and done for you so that you could hang out with me and we could see the whole bookcase from beginning to end. That sadly isn't going to happen due to the fact that, as you can see, I've got no extra shelves, and I didn't realise that the bookcases, they come with shelves, but not enough for what I need. So I think we're going to have to wrap this video up here and get back to you in a few days. So apologies for that. Whether or not I bring this video out and we do a continuation part 2, I'm not sure. So if you do see this video up, thank you for sticking around, and hopefully not very soon in the future I'll have additional shelves and we can carry on decorating. But as for today, I'm sadly having to wrap this up. So with that being said, thank you for joining me today on These Enchanted Pages, and don't forget that this channel is for the dreamers, for the witches and the wanderers, and these are our enchanted pages, and hopefully very soon I'll have some shelves to go with it. Take care, and I'll see you very soon.